like to call the Grossdale Township Commerce Park Commission meeting to order at 6 o'clock. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. Nadeau, would you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Moran is here. Mr. Rathel is excused. Mr. Manns is excused. Mr. Filarski? Here. Mr. Hornby? Here. Mr. Tenova is excused. Mr. Nadeau?
Here.
Next item is any additions or deletions to the agenda. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Motion by Mr. Filarski, supported by Mr. Nadeau, to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the May 16th, 2022 regular meeting. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at that. Is there any comments or questions or additions or changes? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Filarski. Supported by Mr. Hornby to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no.
I'm recusing myself from voting since I wasn't at either one of
Let
them.
the record reflect that Mr. Nadeau has abstained. Next item on the agenda is the financial report. The first item is the approval of the May 2022 financial report. Janelle, is there anything that you would like to point out in the financial report for May? No. And since we also have the June report, we can go into the June report in a little bit more detail because it'll include what is reported in the May report. Is there any comments, questions on the May financial report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Filarski. Support. Support by Mr. Hornby to approve the May 2022 financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the June 2022 financial report. Everyone should have that report in front of them. And our revenue budgeted for the year is $978,581. And our year-to-date revenue through June 2022 is $305,084, which equals 28% of our budget. Our expenditures are the same, budgeted $978,581. And our year-to-date encumbrances and expenditures are $175,992, which comes out to just over 16% of our budgeted expenditures. Our capital reserves as of the end of June is $566,419. And our past due rent summary as of July 14th is $32,477. With that, I will ask Janelle, is there anything you want to point out in the financial report?
No.
Nothing of interest.
Well, the status quo of the lattice is, we're still waiting for the courts to have a court date for the judgment for that. It's been quiet so far. We're just waiting.
And what about Stanley?
Stanley was the status quo as discussed the last time. We can move forward and trying to collect from that debt. I was told from the attorney that there wasn't any money left in the estate. So I would look for
Their attorney.
their attorney, that would be correct.
And have they moved out of the,
Yes, that was, yep. They moved out, as stated in the last meeting, that they had moved out and cleaned it up. And it's all ready to be rented again.
and has our attorney made any suggestions about collections?
Not at this time, no. It's up to us on how we would like to move forward. So, if we would like to move forward with it and try to go for collections, we can do so.
I'll open that up for discussion.
Well, not being an attorney, I would ask, though, if it's a normal collection case, which is filings and time and money, or thought I've heard in the past about just making a claim against an estate. I don't know if that's any different. If the estate's attorney says there was no money that particular day, I mean, that may be true, but are there dispositions of assets? Are there, just a question, how do we make a claim against the estate? And was there a more expeditious way or a way of finding that answer out without going to court needlessly? Does it make any sense? And
Well-
spending all that money?
I think we're looking for more guidance from the attorney on that. I mean, is this estate in probate?
It was in probate.
And it's out of probate?
I believe it's out of probate. I don't have confirmation on that.
Okay, so I think we need to find out if this is out of probate or not, because if it's still in probate, we have a chance, but I think, once that window is closed, we're probably not gonna get anywhere. So I think we need to follow up with the attorney on that.
So Janelle, can you talk to our attorney and see if he can find out whether that's still in probate, and if it is, we'd like to get his advice. Is there any other comments or questions on the financial report for June? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nadeau.
Support.
Support by Mr. Flarsky to approve the June 2022 financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is the manager's report, and item number 1 is the marketing plan update. Janelle?
So I spoke with a couple of different marketing firms. One in particular I liked, as far as where I think my recommendation would be is we had spoken about, we have a lot of nice space here, and with the proper planning of our space that we have, we'll be able to further elaborate on a marketing plan. But right now, I think it would be a good idea to build on a website. And within the website, the website cost as a whole is $600, and it's a $99 a month fee for the website. And that would be directly on the Grossdale's website. So we would have like a link on Grossdale's website that would be to the Grossdale Airport. On the website, entertain ideas with who the commission board is, what the history of the Grossdale Airport would be. What we offer as far as fly-in goes would be directions, frequencies, runways, airport map, navigational aids, lighting, our rules and regulations, and if we have any tie-down fees or not. If we have a full-service FBO, what the difference of pricing might look like from fuel standpoint, and then the services that we offer. So we could offer, example would be Max Flight. They have helicopter rides, and kind of support our vendors here at the airport as well, listing our other vendors that might be out there, including on the airfield and the Commerce Park. It's kind of just taking all of that information and starting there. And I've been collecting data and what vacancies we have here on the airport, what we offer as far as industrial buildings and how many square feet they might be, and what the benchmarking per square foot would be. It would just all be on the website, which would field a lot of questions on my end that would be agreed upon in the commission. It's kind of what I'm thinking about at this point. So that's the update with the marketing plan. It's gonna take some time to put it all together and to start to gather the data. I've gone into a few buildings and measured buildings to at least know how many square feet we have and what it would look like, and as far as price per square foot, what we'd be offering, whether it's utilities or maintenance, dumpsters, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of where we stand with the marketing. But I think to gather all that information, put it on the website, have it readily available would be a great idea.
And Janelle, what did you say the cost would be?
$600 to build the site and $99 a month to maintain it. So any new data. So I have a new data because I had availability in a certain rental. I would have them just update it on my behalf.
So that's not something you can do. We need to have some consultant do that updating.
I think from
for
a
us.
time standpoint, yes, it would be better for time. If I don't do it daily, it would take me a long time to navigate through learning how to build a website. So yes, I think that that would be something that would be advantageous to pay for, yes.
And did you say that you've talked to a couple, and have you narrowed it down who you would prefer?
I talked to a couple, and one that I talked to exclusively. I talked to Buildium was another one I spoke to, and then I spoke to they did more of the social media aspect of it, which was much more expensive from social media. So I looked at 2 different types of website buildings and then a social media.
And how about, I don't know a lot about them, but I understand that the township uses a company called Revise.
I believe that's correct.
Is that correct? We could look into Revise.
Yeah, I think you
Is
should
that-
talk to them.
Is that their
since-
name?
Yep. That's the name of the company that the township uses. So I think we should include them in our discussion, because they may give us a better price since they're already
Okay.
working with the township.
Brian's got contact information for
Brian has the contact information for Revise. Okay. But so would Revise, just, I think these would be some of the things that I would hope that Revise could do for us in putting all of this stuff on our website. I think that that stuff is pretty important.
So you're still in the process of gathering information, and you'll come back with a recommendation to us when you're ready? Okay. Anybody have any questions for Janelle on the marketing plan?
Is there any marketing, and I'm just figuring out some of this, but marketing or what we offer, making it available to other small municipal airports in or near our area? If somebody's over in the Kalamazoo area and they looking for someplace to fly for a day, or, just to expand it to market it, what we offer to other airports. I don't know whether that makes sense.
There's an email that we all kind of talk about, and what I've been noticing, and that's a good point, is that, yes, so when they have like a pancake fly-in breakfast, they will email the managers that said, hey, we are having a pancake breakfast on such and such date, here is our flyer, and it distributes through a manager email way.
Okay.
I was told that there is a website that will, and I don't know if this is just regards to food, but when I've been talking to other people and pilots, that there is a website, and I can't remember the name of it, that gives you ideas for where you can go to eat the, I don't know, the $100 burger or whatever it might be that they, So
Okay.
that would be an option too, but I don't know if that's like what is it? Like an optimization from a Google search that puts you into that database where it kind of fills from that.
That may be a question from whatever consultant we use on, if we go forward with the website.
Anything else?
I would just say, as far as the website, you don't really have to go, real technical heavy on, the airport as far as, lighting systems, things like that, because, pilot's gonna go to airport directory and, get all that stuff, but, just kind of keep that, high level. And as far as, the website, I would, like to see it, be as interactive as possible, where it just doesn't say click a link and it sends you an email and you're still managing all the work. It'd be nice to have some functionality to it where, for instance, like a hangar wait list, people want to get in a hangar wait list. It would be nice for them to be able to do that and then see where they're at on the list and
Exactly.
some things like that, to give some thought to.
Where what I'm hearing you say, it's more automated versus me.
Right, you don't want just a page that you've got to go in and, change everything all the time and, and when somebody needs something, they click the link and they just email you.
Exactly. That's
So, something that kind of, where you have a feed and it's a little more, just interactive on both ends, for you and for whoever is looking at it and using it.
Anything else? Hearing none, we'll move on to our next item, which is the thank you for Island Fest.
So I'm really happy with everybody in regards to Island Fest. I think that my maintenance staff, I would like to, put it out there and thank them. They did a fantastic job in staying on top of a really tough season, being it wet, very, very wet during that time, and being able to get the grass cut. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank them. The FBO employees and the pilots, they really came together to get the community hangar cleared out for Island Fest. They worked together to move all the planes, and I'd like to thank them. It's not something that we talk about on a regular basis. The rec department, the police department, and the fire department, they all worked really hard as well, and all the Grossdale employees here. So it was my first experience, and it really all came together, and it was a nice thing to do. So just thank you for everybody.
Is there any place that we can post something like that? Do you know? I think you might as well do that if you can do that.
Idea.
Yep. Hey, we'll move on to our next item, which is the History on Wheels show, which is August 27th update.
Just wanted to let everybody know it was moving along. We are going to, they're in the process, so it was kind of a car show, it was put on by the VFW. Looks like we're able to get, or they're trying to get a couple of, either a bi-wing plane from, I don't know if it was the Yankee Air Museum, but one of the local museums, either, help me out, where's the other museum? There's another one. Anyways, it doesn't
I
matter.
think it was a Yankee Air Force.
Yeah.
No, there was another one. I can't think of it right now. So they're working on trying to get a plane for display for the air show, or for the car show. Should be a really nice event. We've had a lot of meetings. During one of my discussions, it was brought up that there's this gentleman, it's, What's the Deal, Grossdale? He has a podcast. So I reached out to him and asked him if I could do a podcast with him, bring a little publicity to the airport, something positive, something exciting. It should be a lot of fun. So I actually have a meeting set up with him on Friday evening to do a little podcast that will go out. So exciting news there.
Good. It's always good to have activity down here.
It is, and I
Pardon me.
would say, if I might, that randomly I happened to be talking to one of the fellows involved in the show earlier this week, and I said I was glad to see that it was proceeding and, being worked out and whatnot, and he said, I really want to commend our airport manager, Janelle, all her efforts, and they very much appreciate her involvement, and even commended was it Frank? And they're very, very happy and hoping that they can do it for years to come. So,
Is the plan to do this yearly, Janelle?
So I guess it started last year with Mike Duker, and so I don't know if that was a discussion, but yeah, it was something that they would like to, almost like make a bigger event. And I know that there was discussions, and I don't think that it's going to happen this year, but there was some discussion on bringing Michigan Jet back. I think it's too late in the season for that, but Michigan Jets may bring one of their model planes. I don't know all the details because it really wasn't enough time to plan what they were looking to do, but to, have conversation and bringing maybe the warbirds from the Yankee Air Museum. I've been talking to them, but it's all booked up. So it's all stuff that's looking for future for next year. Bring more aviation into it. And yeah, so.
Well,
Job, they seem to be
Yeah.
very happy.
it's good to hear, and, the more events we can have here, the better, so. Our next item is the Goodyear blimp, July 27th through the 30th, and looking out the window, we see that the blimp is here.
The blimp made it. They flew in today, and so they're in for the PGA Tour. Actually, that's what they're in for. So
For
it'll
the Rocket Mortgage Classic.
Yep,
Right.
Rocket Mortgage Classic. So that's super exciting. You saw it fly in, and they'll be sitting out there just on Friday. There's not any activity with it. On Thursday. So they're not doing anything. It'll just be out there all day tomorrow, and then looks like they have a couple of flights on Friday, and then they will be going over to the PGA Tour and then come back here at night.
And they leave Sunday or Monday?
I think the first
Monday then.
Monday.
Well, it's always exciting to see the blimp here and seeing it drive over Grossdale as it heads to Detroit, so it's always good to see that. Okay, we will move on to our next item, which is our action item, and that is the approval of the emergency response plan. And we have a recommendation for a resolution that reads, based upon the recommendation from the Grossdale Airport Commerce Park Manager, the Grossdale Airport Commerce Park Commission hereby approves the updated emergency response plan, ERP 2022. And if I can get a motion, and then we'll have discussion.
Move to accept the presented emergency response plan for 2022.
Motion by Mr. Nadeau. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Filarski. With that, I will turn it over to Janelle.
So the Grossdale Emergency Response Plan is established to make sure that we protect the citizens, the community property, and the environment in the event of an airport emergency. So I had gotten together with the PD and the fire department, and then kind of updated the emergency plan. And as you saw, there was an updated bomb threat policy as well. In doing all of this, I think that I updated some 40 plus contacts verification for the emergency response plan as well for protection here at the airport. So took a lot of time to update that. Been working on it for some time, so I just was wanting to present it to you guys. And really it's to reduce the damages of anything that happens, whether it be an incident or an accident, and who I need to contact in the event that this happens, and who the Grossdale Police Department needs to contact, and the Grossdale Fire Department. So something also super proud of. Big accomplishment there. So
And Janelle, who is your backup for this? And I know reading through it, it appears and it looks to me like sort of the fire department is who gets notified, and then they sort of handle things from there. Is if you're out of town or you're not available and they need to get a hold of someone, is it the fire department? They're sort of your backup?
it would be my backup, but township manager, but he gets tied up, so really it would be the fire department would be next as well. So it's really the fire chief.
And have they gotten a copy of this, or
They have.
so we approve it and then
I'm gonna send a copy, but I did have discussions with them, because, the fire chief, was, you know, very familiar with the airport, so he was somebody I was reached out to, figured he would know a lot about it, and, the police department as well. So they decided that it would be best to have one consistent backup. The next person to call would be the fire department. So kind of filters all through there. But when I leave town, I notify Derek, and then if we're both out of town, then it would be the fire department.
Is this something that either you or Derek makes all the other department heads aware of? Because I know when emergencies happen, not all the time the right people are around when an emergency happens, and you know, the first person to know about an emergency may be just somebody that's here at Township Hall.
Correct, and then they would call the fire department. So if Township Hall has a copy of this as well.
And I noticed, looking through the plan, that there's a number of contacts that are not listed. There's some blanks. Is that on purpose, or are those blanks need to be filled in?
No, it was, those numbers were null and void. They weren't there anymore. So we could get those updated, or which ones were you talking about?
Well, it's got the Gibraltar Fire Department, Gibraltar Police Department, Wyandotte Fire, Wyandotte Police, Riverview Fire, Riverview Police. You know, those are all, as it relates to, that there's a phone number, but there's not a contact person.
You'd have to call every single one of those departments in order to get to those contact people, and it wasn't in the last one. So it's you make one phone call and it encompasses all those different departments.
Just a thought, but you might, if you want to fill in names in there for the fire chief and police chief, that might be something that you could have Katie work on.
Great idea.
So, you know, she's always got, she has time, and she's good at following up, and
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, do we feel it's necessary, because we're not gonna contact each police chief in each one of those departments, right? I mean, it's gotta be a phone call, it's gotta be, the dispatcher is gonna handle that.
doesn't hurt to have a name in there, just to, I mean, first time you say you don't need the name, you don't need it.
Yeah,
And I think the most important thing is to have a phone number, so you have someone to call, and hopefully there's gonna be somebody to answer on the other side of that, the phone call, so. And how often do we update this? Do you know, is this a yearly?
that hadn't been updated in quite some time. The last one I saw it was updated was like 2010. So it had been some time, and so there was a couple of things from the advisory circular that had changed, and so I added that. The bomb threat policy was a little bit out of date, so clearly there were a little bit in discrepancies with even how it was written was not consistent throughout, so it was missing just a couple of things that hadn't been updated.
Well, it's good to have this updated, and obviously, whoever needs to get a copy of it, if you can make sure that that happens, that'll be good.
I think that it's a good idea. I'll have Katie look into that. That's a perfect thing for her to do. Thank you for that.
Any other questions on the emergency response plan?
You could replace Joe with my name for,
Oh, I guess that
not
changed.
that I have to see my name anymore.
I suppose, yes, you are correct. It's only been on the agenda since May, so.
Might get a call in the middle of the night about emergency, Dave. There's no other comments or questions. We've got a motion by Mr. Nadu, supported by Mr. Filarski. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is our subcommittee reports. We have none tonight. Next item is our chairman's report, and we'd like to officially welcome our new airport liaison person, Dave Nadu, to the commission. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron.
Mr.
Appreciate
Nadu.
it.
Look forward to working with you and in helping us keep a good airport running here and keep our buildings occupied and our vacant land leased so we can generate enough revenue to cover the cost of running the airport and all the things we do here, so.
Glad to be here.
Welcome aboard.
With that, our next item is a closed session item in consultation with legal counsel. We have a legal issue that needs to be discussed, and with that, I'll entertain a motion to move into a closed session. Motion by Mr. Flarsky, supported by Mr. Nadu, to go into closed session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed say no. Motion carries.